The days as a kid seem to pass by so fast, you don't even realize how fast until you're no longer a kid. My childhood was tough. I came from a broken home. My mother got pregnant way too young, and only because she wanted her life to be solved by somebody else. My mother, being 23 years old, with 4 daughters, having no idea how to be affectionate, she would go on to repeat the cycle that her alcoholic father taught her: abuse and neglect. My childhood could have been a lot worse if I did not have my sisters. I don't know where my kindness or caring heart comes from. I remember the day my oldest sister taught me never to stop Mom when she was beating one of our sisters. It's funny how the brain is so selective when it comes to memories. I remember so clearly her telling me, "Don't stop her, or it will only go worse for you and her." One early morning, my younger sister was not getting out of bed. My older sister, being the way she was, went to go wake up Mom earlier than usual. We all knew what was about to happen. It came time for me to pass on the same lesson to my younger sister. She did not care. She went in, got in between my mom beating our younger sister for not getting up. My younger sister, so small but yet so brave, yelled, "Stop, Mom, stop." Mom slapped her hard across the face. My sister and my eyes practically flew across the room, and my mom's hands turned into fists. She started punching, one hand holding my sister by the hair like a shopping bag, and the other hand punching her. Once she got tired of holding her that way, she threw her to the corner of the closet and began kicking her so hard. I was scared, but I needed her to stop, so I told her, "We are going to be late for school." I was maybe 12 years old, but I already knew that I would forever respect my younger sister for being so brave in a moment that I couldn't. My mom made me go and turn on the car and put on the AC. I was in the car waiting for them. My baby sister would not stop crying during the car drive after such a beating. Who would blame her? It was her first year of kindergarten. She was not used to waking up so early. And my mom would always make sure to hit us on the body and would threaten us with practically the same phrase: "If you tell anyone, especially your dad, I will hurt you more until you can't talk." That morning it was, "Shut up or I'll give you a reason to be crying." My sister put her tiny hands over her mouth, trying to muffle the sound of her tears. My older sister felt guilty. She knew very well that waking up my mom early, someone is going to get the beating. Thankfully, that was the last. I was called into the principal's office around 2 hours later. Not even first recess yet. Child Protective Services had been called for my baby sister. She had a black eye and she had peed herself, had bruises everywhere. The kindergarten teacher noticed she had been beaten, and even though she kept saying she had fallen, someone noticed. I didn't know the details of her peeing herself or the bruises. It was until after. I spoke to a beautiful young woman. She looked like a business lady. This was the first time talking to people that cared about what my mom had been doing to us for years, since the beginning of my memories. After years, now and still such a fresh memory of the abuse, I remember how the CPS agent asked me such basic questions, getting a base reading. It's incredible to realize how easy she maneuvered her way to talk to me. She would ask questions like, "What's your favorite animal?" "Cheetah." "What's your favorite cereal?" "Lucky Charms." She asked if I slept okay. then asked me to tell her what my morning routine was. Brush my teeth and hair, have cereal, and go turn on the car. She said, "That's very good. And this morning, was it the same?" I said, "For me, yes." She asked, "How was it for your baby sister?" The fear, the guilt I felt seeing how my mom hit her, beat her. How I stood quiet, how my sister Christy put her little hands up, thinking her words would stop Mom's inability to be a mother. I simply said, "She would not wake up, so my mom made her wake up." The agent asked me, "How did she make her wake up?" I went on to describe what you already know. Finally, I told someone. Finally, I could cry the tears of fear I had towards the abuse. I asked my sisters. I knew now Mom would make the truth out of her threats. I thought in my young childish mind, we should run away before Mom knew I told someone. The agent told me, "Don't worry. Christy is already waiting for you." She told us everything. They took me to the nurse's room. Once she opened the door, I saw Christy. Still had tears in my eyes, but I was not crying. I walked in, and Christy was there sucking on a juice box, sitting on the doctor's examination table, dangling her feet back and forth. Before I could even speak, she says out loud, "My mom hits us." Like I said, my sisters helped me through the abuse. Without them, I don't know what would have happened. One day, me and Christy were eating food that my mom could barely manage to make. She was a very bad cook, but hunger is hunger. We were eating it, but it was so nasty to eat. It was like a vegetable soup or something. I would always try to make my sisters laugh, even when things got bad. My mom would never let us leave the table without finishing out our bowl. My other sisters got the time to throw it away, but we did not. My mom left us there for hours until it got dark outside. I told Christy, "Let's make a bet. Whoever can eat the most wins a prize." She said, "What do you have?" I told her, "You have the pretty Barbie for a whole week, and I'll do your chores." Mom was in the living room watching TV, making sure we did not throw away our food. I made the bet because it would soon be bedtime, and Mom would beat us if we were still there. We started eating it together. Christy vomited first. She threw up so much that the bowl overflowed, not only with disgusting soup. Mom came in. That's when I vomited. She said, "You are still going to eat it." My sister and I looked at each other with fear in our eyes. I said, "Mom, it's not good. It makes us—" I did not even finish my sentence. My mom hit my head so hard with a closed fist. I started crying, holding my head. She said through her teeth, the tone my sister and I know well enough to know vomit food is not the worst that Mom can give us. We ate it now. Christy started eating, softly crying. I started eating. I vomit, then Christy, then me. I remember seeing the look of disgust that my mom gave us. She got so disgusted, she said, "Clean up and go to bed." Once she walked away, I quickly told Christy, laughing, "You ate more vomit than me." She said, "Nah, you ate more than me." We were cleaning up and went to bed. Have you ever played icebreaker question games? There's one question I always lie to. What's your first memory? I say being with my older sister underneath the table watching our kitten poop for the first time, giggling, but that's not it. My first memory is crying. I was hurt. I don't remember exactly what hurt me, but I was crying, and I called out for Mommy. My mom was in the laundry room. I came in crying, saying, "Mommy, Mommy." She picked me up and slapped me so hard across the face I could taste blood in my mouth, and she said, "Don't you dare call me Mommy. I will never be your mommy." I just remember thinking, why would Mommy hurt me? Years later, my mom felt old and hated that we called her Mom. She said we sounded like sheep, that we should call her Mommy. I never did, and never will. The second well-put beating she did, I was once again eating her food. I had a plate of rice. I had the best stomach out of my sisters. I would tell them I would eat their food for a nickel, or just petty change, or even sometimes I would just do it because I wanted to help, and I could manage to eat her food. That day, I could not fit in the rice. It was too dry, and it tasted like cardboard. I had eaten enough of it. There was less than half a portion. Not much, so I thought. I could show my plate to my mom, and she would let me leave the table. I carried the plate to the living room to show my mom an almost empty plate, and it fell all over the living room carpet, right in front of my mom, everywhere. My mom got up from the couch. "Clean it," she said. Quickly I kneeled and got down on all fours on the carpet, and I started to pick up the pieces of rice. I knew something was coming. She punched me on my back several times, then started kicking me so hard on my ribs, I tipped over. She kept yelling, "Get up, finish cleaning." She kept repeating that. I think I fell over around 3 times, and I kept getting up, continuing to clean the rice out of the carpet. I'm not sure if I blacked out, but it seemed like I did, but not for long, just like several minutes, I suppose. I picked up as best as I could the rice from the carpet, and I had a bowl of rice that had a lot of like little garbage in it, from picking it up. So the rice was dirty, and my mom made me eat it. I did finish eating it, and I washed my plate and went to go cry in my room. It seemed so normal, and it became really normal just to lie. Lying became like second nature. Going to school and being told, "What happened? How did you get that bruise?" And you just disassociate. "I fell off the stairs," or "I tripped while I was playing." It seemed like everybody had to go through something like that, It wasn't just me living through it. I believed that everybody else had a similar situation happening, that everybody else was lying or hiding, and I really didn't understand that it was abuse. Until I was in maybe the 5th grade, we had a meeting, like a little get-together, and police officers came in and they showed us a recording, and this video recording had all the types of form of abuse. It was showing sexual abuse, physical abuse, and just negligence overall. And at the end of the video, I remember seeing everybody in my classroom just look at each other with shock, like they were just so amazed that anybody could be going through something like that. I remember seeing this one girl in my class that she just looked and she said, "Oh my God, does that happen to you?" And I felt so embarrassed. It was like I was an outcast, And I said no. No, that doesn't happen to me. But once again, you're just controlled with fear, and you don't want to believe that a person is bad. I don't say this expecting any empathy. This made me the person I am now. And I know that the abuse was not, in a way, my mother's fault. She never knew how to show kindness. She came from basically the same thing. She was just repeating the cycle. And I think one of the things that I grew up with that I still can't get rid of is the lying. I do these petty lies, like they have no reason. I have no reason to lie, but I still lie. And it just seems very, very dumb. Like I can go to the office and be like, oh, I'm not going in because I'm sick, when I'm actually going to the dentist. You know, like simple things that I should not be lying about, but I end up lying about. Also, when it comes to feelings, a lot of emotional neglect was also part of it, besides physical. And I think all my sisters have gone through sexual abuse, and this was mainly because we were left alone a lot of the while. You know, my mom got pregnant way too young, and she still wanted to go out drinking and partying, so we were left alone in the house. And the responsibility would be left to my older sister, which is not okay. She was a child, she was trying. You know, you can't leave a responsibility of being a parent to a child. We all went through sexual abuse a different way, and once my stepdad realized that we were going through these type of abuses, nothing really changed. The abuse just changed differently. Like now that my mom knew that she couldn't physically harm us, she started emotionally harming us. And I feel like the physical abuse was better than the emotional abuse. But that's just me.